Stella Kobayashi, Chapter 1, about Japan. So, there's this guy called Takeru Kobayashi. Not to be confused with Tsunami Kobayashi, who won TV Tokyo's Gluttony Championship after eating 60 bowls of ramen or so. No, this Takeru Kobayashi is a civil engineer tasked with maintaining one of those big astronomical observatories. The powerful kind, that tends to be high up in the mountains, somewhere far away from civilization, like the Chilean Andes, Hawaii, Tibet, or whichever. Kobayashi is a free spirit of sorts, and enjoys his solitude. He prefers being alone and doesn't consider himself to be much of a people person. He isn't a natural asshole or anything, it's just him and Japan have been politely drifting apart, like a Venn diagram that's held together by not much. Sure, he likes fried chicken on Christmas, cats, and yeah, that's about it. He can't stand anime, although Legend of the Galactic Heroes was okay, and sushi gives him diarrhea. He also doesn't get the fetishization of Japanese women and that maid cafe tier bullshit. That and many of the unspoken rules and pointless regulations plaguing life back home. Even love is overregulated in Japan. Like there's a thing called the honor system, where single females are graciously encouraged to grow out their bushes. You see, once a Japanese woman enters a serious relationship, she ceremoniously shaves herself down and has her father give you a wooden trick box filled with her pubic hair. It might sound silly, but it's a good system, so don't be culturally insensitive. Instead, you should bow respectfully and mumble arigato gozaimasu as you accept that token of gratitude. Then, to make things official, you exchange personally stamped certificates. It's a big deal, also part of the many reasons why you should always carry your signature stamps. You know, because something like that might happen at any given point in time, in Japan at least. Okay. So the honor system might not be that serious, but if a Japanese woman happens to be bald, you know she's either cheating or she used to be seriously committed, quite recently, like yesterday. Hence the revelation of the bush being a metric of personal virtue, which is goddamn absurd as far as Takeru Kobayashi is concerned. That's the kind of cultural horseplay that might lead to some curious breakdowns in communication, like when a clueless foreigner stumbles into a women-only passenger train cart and misconstrues the embarrassment giggles as being flirtatious. Pretty awkward, actually. Every once in a while there's Americans visiting the observatory. They're loud, some of them smell a little, but generally speaking they're good people, just lacking that kind of rigid hierarchical social dynamic, or rather the perverted obsession with harmony and keeping appearances, which seems almost inbuilt to the Japanese language itself. Americans just blurt out whatever they think, and they tend to think with their tongues. They're not afraid to ask why, and don't just blindly follow orders. Not like the Japanese, or the Germans for that matter. Something both nations used to bond over, once upon a time, in World War II. That and enjoying a good war crime, but then, who doesn't? Obviously, the Americans aren't above firebombing a city, or two, or supposedly dosing French baguettes with LSD or such, which might not be entirely accurate, but it's plausible enough to be considered. Still, compared to the average Japanese, the Americans tend to be free-spirited, like Takeru Kobayashi. Our dear protagonist has been wrestling the Japanese dominance hierarchy ever since grade school, when the lot of them was sitting behind their neat little desks straight up like cute tiny robots waiting for the next command line input. But the young Takeru would rest his chin in his palm and start daydreaming about outer space, the stars, the nature of time, or Britney Spears and her mammary glands. Don't get me wrong, it's not like Kobayashi was being difficult, at least not in any way that could have been quantified by the bean counters. But it was the origin point of a quiet rebellion, a paradoxical one given his future line of work as an engineer in a field that elevates bean counting to an art form. At one point, Kobayashi was considering a job in the Antarctic, but somehow life wanted him to be in the Chilean mountains instead, which could have been worse, but overall it's pretty alright. He has plenty of time to read and think while considering himself a bit of a modern lighthouse keeper. Even with the visitors, sooner or later, things always quiet down eventually, and Kobayashi finds himself sitting alone in one of the facility backlots, wearing his favorite puffy jacket. He then rolls himself another cigarette and exhales a plume of smoke, like a fucking Japanese Bilbo Baggins, in charge of lighting the beacons of Minas Tirith. Meanwhile, the remote-controlled telescope crawls into another position and ends up pointing at an unassuming little corner of the starry night sky. To be continued.